What we don't really know at this point is how contentious is this board meeting going to be. We do know that SoftBank is pushing for Adam Neumann to step down as the CEO, be replaced at least in that role.
So now you think SoftBank is pushing for this?
Absolutely.
Wow.
That's what we reported over the weekend, that Masayoshi Son has sort of turned against Adam Neumann. Look, a lot of this is, it's like The Godfather. It's just business. SoftBank doesn't want WeWork to go public. Adam Neumann does want it to go public. And this maybe is a lever that SoftBank has at its disposal to potentially prevent the company from going public in the near term.
This is fast. So what you're saying is they not only want to change the CEO, they want to keep this company
Absolutely.
from going public. Joanne, what do you make of this? This is one of the more extraordinary IPO dramas we've ever seen.
It is, and I think the big question I have is, why is this a tech company? WeWork is a real estate company. They buy real estate, they lease real estate, they sublet it. There are dozens of these co-working kinds of companies that are out there.
Right.
We've had decades of timeshare companies. It just doesn't make sense that this would be would have a $47 billion valuation. Makes absolutely no sense. And even at $10 billion, I think what it is we've seen an amazing salesmanship job by Adam Neumann to basically present this as a tech firm.
And to Joanne's point, Alex, we now know a lot about the downside of this company, about the downside of the structure, about its exposure to downturns and recessions, about the structural problems with its business model. What is the best case scenario for SoftBank here? I mean, what do they see as justifying either the tech valuation she's referring to or just its ability to grow?
I suppose the best case scenario at this point is for WeWork not to go public, for WeWork to make corporate governance changes, maybe even for there to be sort of a mild recession and WeWork come out of it as a private company and say, you know what, this company works in a recession. And then at that point, you get investors on board as a private company still, and you come out and you IPO whenever that may be, and you have a valuation that is at least healthier than what you're going to get today and in the near term in the public markets, which really, we've heard numbers at $10 billion thrown around. After all of this, if they keep pressing forward with an IPO, you'd have to imagine it may even go lower than that. I mean, there's so much uncertainty around the company. On the flip side, though, I think this is an important point. The Vision Fund, the purpose of the Vision Fund has always been to be this sort of family, to be very friendly to founders, to get them to work together.
Have a long-term vision.
If this is going to be a fight, and Adam Neumann is now pitted against Masayoshi Son, the founder of SoftBank, you'd have to wonder, is this going to be something that will affect the Vision Fund moving forward?
And their ability to invest in other startups.
And Masayoshi Son has to know that. He has to be aware of that. And so that may impact what the conversation is like this week.
Interesting. All right, finally, Joanne, I'm thinking about Uber, which, Travis Kalanick famously was pushed out for a new CEO who's been applauded, I think, in terms of being, the kind of normalizing CEO for Wall Street and so forth. However, there's a lot of discussion about Uber having kind of lost that culture that made it so successful when it lost Kalanick. Is that a risk for WeWork, that by pushing out Neumann, you push out the one person whose vision created this company?
I suppose you could say it's a risk, but I actually think the greater risk is what this really points out to me is this is really a scathing indictment of the venture capital industry's bro culture, right? The fact that you have these founders like Uber, like Adam Neumann, who are incredibly charismatic. They go in. Venture capital, as we know, 98% of venture capital dollars go to companies run by men. The venture capitalists making those decisions are men. In both cases, those boards were all male. And so what you end up with is this very dangerous group think, where there is nobody, everybody's agreeing with one another and they're pushing up those valuations, and there's nobody there to really question them and say, wait a second, let's look at this differently.
I know we have to go, but I think about it more as kind of star-driven, Alex. I mean, you had the Elizabeth Holmes saga come out of all of this as well. But they know the script, they know how to play to it, whether it's man, woman in charge of these companies. Finally, he owns all the shares. I mean, what can the board really do? Neumann actually is their boss, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Neumann could really actually dispose of the entire board if he wanted to, because he's the majority control, voting control. So he does have leverage here. But then again, SoftBank and its entities own almost 30% of the company. They're going to have to live with SoftBank and probably need more capital from SoftBank moving forward. So you'd have to imagine that there's got, both sides have some degree of leverage.
All right.
Maybe they come together with some sort of compromise. We'll see this week.